Welcome, everyone, to Chat Like a Native. Today, we're jumping into a topic that, honestly, so many of you have asked about, mastering English pronunciation.
Yeah, it's a big one.
It really is. And you've shared some fantastic articles and resources with us, all looking at how to speak English with, more clarity, more confidence. So our mission today really is to take all those great ideas from your materials and distill them into something practical, a daily three-step routine designed specifically to help tackle that accent anxiety and, well, just help you connect better when you speak.
Exactly. And what's really interesting looking through the stuff you all sent in is this recurring theme. It's about the power of small, consistent actions, not these huge, overwhelming efforts that people try maybe once or twice and then drop.
Right.
We're going to unpack a routine that's pretty simple, actually, but really powerful, something that can turn pronunciation practice from a chore into just, well, a natural part of your day.
And here's what I found really intriguing from the research you provided. It suggests that this isn't just about memorizing rules or, spending hours with your nose in a book. Our look into your sources shows there might be a genuine shortcut here, a clearer path to getting that clarity and confidence. It breaks down that accent anxiety, which can be so paralyzing, into steps that are actually manageable and effective.
Yeah.
We're talking about a routine you can stick with just 20 minutes a day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's built on solid principles, things that actually help make your speech feel more automatic, more effortless.
Uh-huh. Principles of motor learning, how we actually learn physical skills applied to speech.
Exactly. So hopefully you'll walk away with some real aha moments today and some practical things you can start doing right away to sound more natural and, crucially, be understood more easily.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dig into what your sources revealed.
It's such a common thing, isn't it? For learners, you have this picture in your head of how you want your English to sound. Clear, fluent, but then what actually comes out, it just doesn't quite line up. And that gap, that disconnect, that's often where the accent anxiety creeps in, that self-consciousness.
That hesitation before you speak, yeah.
But the really good news, and this came through strongly in the materials you gathered, is that a simple daily routine can make a huge difference. It builds up clarity and confidence, step by step, systematically.
I totally agree. And the simplicity seems key. Your sources really confirm it boils down to just 3 focused steps, easy to fit into a daily schedule. So let's break down step 1. The experts in your readings often call it something like the warm-up and unlocking sounds. This is just your first 5 minutes.
Right. And the main goal here, highlighted in several articles on vocal prep, isn't strenuous exercise. It's more about gently preparing your mouth and your voice.
Like stretching before you run.
Exactly like that. It helps release any tension maybe in your jaw or throat, gets your mind focused, and just sort of wakes up the vocal cords. It makes the practice that follows much more effective. You're more receptive.
Makes total sense. Preparing the instrument before you play the tune. So how do you actually do this warm-up? What does it involve?
Well, you start really gently. Soft humming is great. Lip trills too. That burr sound.
Ah, yeah, the raspberries?
Kind of. They're fantastic for relaxing the facial muscles, getting the breath flowing, and getting the vocal cords vibrating nice and smoothly. Then you move on to practicing some of those common problem sounds, the ones you find tricky.
Okay.
Maybe it's the sound or telling the difference between, say, ship and sheep, the short I versus the long E. Practice them alone, just the sound itself, and then maybe in simple pairs. Like one source mentioned contrasting R and L sounds.
Always a classic difficulty for many learners.
Definitely. Or that specific American ta sound in the middle of words, the flap T.
Ah, yes, the flap T. That quick, soft, ud-like sound in words like butter or water in American English. It's subtle, but makes a big difference to sounding natural.
It really does. And the key thing, suggested by the motor learning studies you found, is repetition. Repeat a short list of words with those specific tricky sounds. This starts reinforcing the correct muscle movements right from the get-go.
So the benefit is pretty clear. You start relaxed, focused, and you're already priming the pump for correct pronunciation. Makes the later practice easier and stops you from just repeating old mistakes.
Precisely. It sets you up for success in the next stage.
Okay, so you're warmed up, muscles are ready. Now we move into what your sources are calling step 2, active drill and self-feedback. This sounds like the main event, the core practice. You dedicate about 10 minutes here.
Yeah, this is where you get really targeted and active in your learning. The guidance suggests picking just a few things, maybe 3 to 5 words or short sentences, ones that feature your specific target sounds, the sounds you personally want to improve.
Okay, just a few, not trying to conquer everything at once.
Exactly. And crucially, try to pick phrases you actually use, things you say in everyday conversations. This makes the practice feel relevant immediately. It connects the drill to real life.
Right, not just random word lists. And then,
Yeah.
what's the active part?
Okay, so first, you say these phrases slowly, really clearly. Focus on how your mouth is moving, the articulation.
Mm-hmm.
But then, and this is absolutely critical, it came up in a linguistic study you shared, you record yourself saying them normally at your natural pace.
Ah, the recording step. Always a bit daunting.
It can be, but it's so powerful
Yeah.
because you have to listen back. You listen specifically for those moments where the clarity drops off or where a sound isn't quite what you intended.
It's amazing what you notice when you actually hear yourself objectively, isn't it? Things you don't realize you're doing while speaking.
Totally. The recording doesn't lie. And once you've pinpointed those tricky spots, the advice is to repeat those difficult phrases again, but this time, really exaggerate the correct pronunciation.
Overdo it a bit.
Yeah. Over-articulate. It feels weird at first, but it helps lock in the new muscle memory much more effectively than just subtle repetition.
Okay. And there was a pro tip in one of the coaching guides too, right?
Yes. Write down any specific words or phrases that are still giving you trouble after this practice. Keep a little list. Then the idea is to practice just those stubborn items maybe 20 or 30 times throughout your day. Short, quick bursts.
Like micro drills while you're waiting for the kettle to boil or walking somewhere.
Exactly. Those short, frequent bursts are incredibly effective for reinforcing learning, way better than one long, tiring session.
I can vouch for that. I remember really struggling with the sound myself ages ago. And it was only when I started consciously saying this, that, the other, like every time I walked down the corridor at work, that it finally started to feel natural.
See, it works.
That whole cycle, hearing yourself, finding the issues, writing them down, and then that focused, spaced repetition, it really does make a difference. It builds that awareness until it becomes automatic.
It really does.
Mhm.
And that leads us beautifully into the final step, step 3, rhythm and intonation practice. This is the last 5 minutes. And it's super important because it moves you beyond just individual sounds. It's about the bigger picture, the music of English, the flow, the melody. Your articles really emphasize this. It's what makes you sound not just correct, but natural, easy to listen to.
This is where it all comes together, yeah.
Yeah.
Making the connection between clear sound and actually sounding, well, like you chat like a native.
Cool.
So what's the practice here? The suggestion is picking a simple sentence, maybe.
Yeah, choose one simple sentence and then play with it. Practice saying it with different stress patterns. Emphasize a different word each time.
Like, I really want coffee, then I really want coffee, then I really want coffee.
Exactly. To feel how changing the stress changes the meaning or focus. Then, try to mimic the natural rhythm you hear from native speakers. Listen for the stressed and unstressed syllables. And really pay attention to intonation, the pitch going up and down. English has quite a melodic quality compared to some languages. Lean into that.
It's about the musicality. And relaxed breathing comes in here too, right? Several sources mention that.
Critically important. Vocal health resources always stress this. Aim to speak on your exhale. Keep your shoulders relaxed, your throat open. Avoid tensing up.
Because tension restricts things.
Absolutely. When we get anxious or focus too hard, we tend to tighten our throat muscles, breathe shallowly. That physically muffles sounds and makes your voice sound strained.
Okay.
So mindfully practicing rhythm and intonation while staying relaxed and breathing properly helps you sound more natural, yes, but also just makes you much easier for people to understand. It's often overlooked, but has a huge impact.
So those are the 3 steps. Warm up, active drill with feedback, and then rhythm and intonation. About 20 minutes total. But let's zoom out a bit. Why does this specific routine, based on the materials you shared, actually work so well? What's the science bit?
Well, what's really cool, and backed up by some of the neuroscience research you included, is how it builds awareness first. You start consciously noticing, oh, I always mispronounce that sound, or whatever it is for you.
Okay, so awareness comes first.
Right. Then, through that consistent, focused daily practice, that conscious awareness gradually becomes an unconscious automatic habit. Studies on neuroplasticity, how the brain changes, show that this kind of regular, targeted practice literally rewires the brain's pathways for speech. It makes the new pronunciation the default, the easy option.
So it becomes effortless over time because you've built those new connections.
Exactly. It's not just mindless repetition, it's actively reshaping how your brain controls your speech muscles.
And the 20-minute time frame is so key, isn't it? Your sources really hammer this home. It's short, it's focused. That makes it doable. sustainable.
Absolutely. Nobody gets overwhelmed by 20 minutes. And then adding those little micro practice sessions throughout the day for your tricky words, that really reinforces the muscle memory. It's like interval training for your mouth.
Huh. Interval training for your mouth. I like that.
And another big piece, connecting back to the practice itself, is using real language. Sentences you actually say.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
It keeps it relevant. It directly bridges that gap between, a practice drill and actually talking to someone, makes the learning stick because you use it straight away.
And let's not forget the mental side, the role of being calm. That came up quite a bit.
Oh, huge. The routine deliberately includes relaxation in the warm-up and emphasizes relaxed breathing for a reason. Reducing stress is essential.
Why specifically for pronunciation?
Because, as your materials pointed out, tension physically gets in the way. A tense jaw, tight throat, shallow breathing, it all constricts your vocal apparatus and makes clear sounds harder to produce. When you're calm and relaxed, your pronunciation naturally improves. It's holistic, body and mind working together.
Okay, so the routine itself is solid. But what about sticking with it? How do learners track their progress and stay motivated, especially when it feels maybe a bit slow at first?
That's a really important point. And your sources are clear. The number one thing is consistency. You just have to stick with it. Day in, day out, even if it's just the 20 minutes.
And it's okay to feel frustrated sometimes, right? Especially at the beginning.
Totally normal. In fact, that frustration can actually be a good sign. It means your awareness is increasing. You're starting to hear your mistakes more clearly.
Ah, that's a great way to look at it. It means your brain is learning.
Exactly. So when you feel that self-consciousness, try to reframe it. It's not failure, it's your listening skills improving. So persevere. Keep going through that phase.
And eventually,
Eventually, the practice pays off. It becomes more automatic. You'll start noticing your pronunciation improving without consciously thinking about it so much. Certain sounds just flow better.
and it's important to acknowledge those moments, isn't it?
Definitely. Celebrate those little victories. Maybe one day a word you always stumbled on just rolls off your tongue correctly. Notice it. Acknowledge it. Those moments build real confidence and keep you motivated. They show you it's working.
Great advice. Now, beyond the core 20-minute routine, we pulled together a few extra tips from your sources for boosting learning even further. First one, getting support.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can, working with language partners or maybe even getting a few sessions with a tutor can be incredibly helpful. They give you that live, real-time feedback, especially on things like rhythm and overall flow, which is harder to judge on your own. That immediate correction can really speed things up.
Good point.
Yeah.
And the power of imitation came up too.
Mm-hmm. Use resources with native speakers, websites, apps, podcasts like this one. Listen and actively imitate. Not just once, though.
Repeat, repeat, repeat.
Exactly. The experts in your materials really stress that repetition. It's about training the muscle memory, internalizing the sounds and rhythms through mimicry. Deep, focused imitation.
Makes sense. And related to the relaxation point earlier, general well-being matters too.
It really does. Several of the learning psychology articles touched on this. Manage your stress levels. Get enough sleep. It sounds basic, but a rested, relaxed brain learns way more effectively, including pronunciation. You're optimizing your learning state.
Good reminder. And finally, a practical tip. Keeping a journal.
Yeah, just a simple pronunciation journal. Note down what you practice each day, maybe one thing that felt better or one tricky word you worked on, even just how you felt about the practice.
Why does that help?
Seeing your progress written down, even the small steps, is really motivating. It makes the journey tangible and reinforces the habit. You can look back and see how far you've come.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what's the big picture here for our listeners?
Well, it comes down to this. You've got this focused, manageable, and genuinely effective daily routine now. By combining those gentle warm-ups, the targeted drills with self-feedback, the rhythm and intonation practice, the mindful breathing, and just being consistent, you gradually build new habits, new muscle memory, and confidence that lasts.
So the final thought, really, pulled from everything you've shared with us, is this. You don't need to get overwhelmed trying to fix everything at once. Practice patience with yourself. Stick to that steady daily routine, and that feeling of accent anxiety, it really can start to fade. Clarity can become not just something you aim for, but something that feels natural, effortless even. You really do have the ability, and now a clear path, to make that happen.